my good friends. It's been a long time since I've seen your presence, since you've seen me as well. So, sorry about that. Oh, that's me. Hello. In my own freaking plugin palette so that you can see me. I don't know why you would like to see me, but here I am. So, um, today I just really felt like regaining uh, you again. My English speaking audience, because as you know, I've been pretty much absent for the past, oh man, 6 years or 7 years. That's depressing. From the English speaking After Effects community, but now I'm back. I really want to get back to it. I really want to start doing what I've always done, which is provide you with some awesome tips and tricks and techniques that you can build upon. So, feel free to leave a comment on Twitter, which I haven't used in 7 years or so as well. On Twitter or right here in the YouTube stream. Somebody said that my microphone is not working. Is it working? Just let me know. It seems like it's working. Um, I know you guys know that it's working because I'm talking with you on Skype. Uh, oh, you can hear on the stream as well. Okay. I got three friends with me. It's Patrick, it's Abdi, it's Lucas. So hi guys. They will be assisting me in this session, asking difficult questions that I do not know how to answer. So that should make it, fun. So on top of that, yeah, I think that's all. Let's just get into it and let's just do some cool, crazy shit.
So how does that work now? Do we just ask and you do it, or do we just ask and you do it?
Oh well, there is there's a certain idea behind the today's session, which is
Okay.
rebuilding the old game that I used to love when I was like, this big. Uh, I was playing it on Atari 800. It was called River Ride. Or River Raid. I don't know how you actually pronounce it. I always pronounce it River Ride. River Ride. There's this plane that you sort of have to navigate through a canyon. If you meet, you're flying over the water, and if you like touch the edge of the water, which is like a canyon or something, you explode, and you've got enemies and whatnot. So we're just gonna do that in After Effects. Ta-da! Just like that. Let's just build a game in After Effects. That's gonna be exciting. Uh, so let me just open up, just see if everything's properly set up. I think it is. Okay. Yes, the microphone is working. Cool. Oh man, I'm so not used to having like Twitter open. Like I don't even have there was the app for Twitter made with Adobe Air, even if I remember correctly, that showed you your stream and everything. I haven't used it in such a long time. Anyway, yeah, let's just get into it. So I'm gonna show you what River Ride is. If someone is watching us who is, let's say younger than me, that should be sufficient enough. Uh, they might actually not know what River Ride is. So let's just see it. River Raid or Ride online. Yeah, there you go. So we have this game. We are navigating this plane through this is water. This is land. I don't know why the plane can't fly above the land. It can only fly above the water, but that's sort of the premise. It's probably like a very freaking tall canyon or something. You've got enemies. You've got fuel supplies and other stuff. All of that, unfortunately, we can't do because of limitations that we have in After Effects and in expressions. But still, I think we can. Oh, this is kind of nice, nice graphics. We can sort of build like the very core of it, which is to navigate through this self-generating canyon and just check if we've hit the land or not. I guess that would be sufficient enough. And while we do it, I encourage you to ask some other questions. So maybe this session will evolve into something completely different, something bigger. But I have to warn you: if you ask a good question, this session may last a long, long time. Lucas can actually tell you how the longest session we had was what like 13 hours, right?
Yeah, right.
13 hours. Yeah, it started, like any other session was just, let's just do this. And then he asked a question. And when he freaking asks a question cannot be left unanswered. So uh, it just blew up. It just blew up, and we did like, what's it called in English? One arm bandit mechanism. So like game logic in After Effects. There you go. Okay, let's just do this. You probably don't know because, again, I have been absent from the English speaking viewers, but I don't really like the new release of After Effects. Unfortunately, if anyone from Adobe is listening, I am truly, truly, deeply sorry. I love the CC. I love the Creative Cloud. I love the idea. I love how it's been executed. Everything is super awesome. I've been fortunate enough to test it on CS3, sorry, CS6 even, before it was officially released, because that's part of the deal and everything. Uh, but it's been going downhill since 2014. I can't bear it. So whenever I get a chance to work in earlier versions, I do. But the project we're doing right now actually requires us to run it in 2017, which, in my opinion, is, again, sorry, the worst version of After Effects so far. Up to this point, every version was stable, good, reliable, exciting, and everything. But 2017 just screwed things up so badly in so many levels. Uh, Unfortunately, I'm the only one who notices that because I'm the only one using the software properly. Ha 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 ha. So yeah, the reason why we need 2017 is because it allows you to change parameters while you are playing back your content. So, for example, if I would load up a video clip of some sort, uh, let's just grab something. Let's go here and here and here, and that should be in test projects. And let's just go here and go to here and this, for example. Yeah, we got a guy holding a gun. This is for like a what's it called, John Wick project or something like that. Yeah. So we've got that, and we can just play it back, and as it plays back, we can like change things about it. So we can, let's say, put levels on it, and it just plays. It just still plays, which is, sort of a nice idea. We can change the parameters easily, and it still plays back. And that is the functionality that we need in order to be able to play the game, because we're going to press play, we're going to just play it, and we're going to move the ship around, right? So we don't want to keyframe it, we just want to play and see what happens. So with that in mind, we're going to work in After Effects 2017, although all the techniques I'm going to show you will be available, I believe, in CS6 or maybe even earlier versions. Not totally sure, I would have to check. Doesn't matter. So let's just get into it. We're gonna start a new composition that's gonna be long because we're gonna be flying for a long time. Let's say 300 seconds maybe. So here's a cool tip. You just type in 300, and when you put like a comma after that, it's gonna convert it into time. So that means right now 300 seconds, and 300 seconds means 5 minutes. So that's kind of cool. We're gonna click OK, and that is, oh, that's a small composition. I haven't noticed. Okay, yeah, if we can actually use this. Let's make it 1 frame long, and we're gonna make a ship. So something amazing is about to happen because I am going to use a mask. Masks are evil. You should always try to avoid using masks whenever possible. I should probably write a freaking book about it. Uh, but at this point, I'm just gonna say masks are evil and try not to use them. But we are going to use a mask in order to draw our plane, our character. So,
Masks are awesome. Look at Batman, Superman, all those guys.
oh,
That's
dude,
awesome masks, I mean.
if I had like a meme with my face and somebody saying mask and like this rage face, I would put triggered, at the bottom because now if you say mask, you're not my friend. We can't be friends anymore. Sorry, Abdi, we just can't. Uh, okay, let's
Well,
just
then forget about masks.
yeah, if I had time, I would design like a cool looking plane, but let's just freaking eyeball it and just do this. Yeah. By the way, this is like my top drawing skill right now that you see. I can't freaking draw, and that's why. I think that's why. Since I can't draw, I have focused on how things work. And right now, good design for me is not only how good something looks, but it's also how good it works. And my entire career is based upon that. So there you go. Oh, that's a beautiful plane. Uh, let's just agree that it's pretty. It's not, I know, but let's just use it. Uh, player. Okay, and we are going to build a new composition. It should be something that we could use. Let's say 640 by 480, and that one is going to be 300 seconds. Okay, that's fine. And let's start building our terrain. Okay, the idea here is that we would have this sort of terrain that looks like this. Maybe I should find like a YouTube video of it. YouTube, and let's go. Oh, that's me. Let's just go river raid, and let's see how that looks. Let's turn off the. Yeah, so you're just flying around. You're just getting the fuel. Of course, this is like sped up because it didn't work that fast on Atari. But yeah, you just do this, and while you do it, you just gain points and everything. It's like a survival game, very very early survival game. Uh, this is boring because the terrain is like a straight line. I'm rather looking for something that has uh, more stuff in it. Yeah, this river ride. Okay, this looks good. Yeah, so we're not gonna have any enemies, unfortunately, because that just we could theoretically make that happen, but like I have no vision of how to do it, like impromptu, like immediately. So I don't want to waste your time. We're just gonna build the terrain, and we're just gonna build a mechanism to check if we are alive or dead, meaning over the water or over the land. I think that should spawn some ideas. Anyway, so having that done, guys, and Lucas, I know you know how to do this because you've seen this session being done in.
No, I don't remember.
Oh, you don't remember? Okay, so there you go, guys. There's three of you with me right now. So, any suggestions how we should design the terrain? Because it should be self-generating procedural terrain that we can navigate through, that we don't have to like draw in advance. I don't want it to loop, so I don't want it to be the same shape, just scrolling over and over. I actually want it to be a unique shape of the terrain that we can work with. Either you guys on Skype with me or someone else. Oh, Peter says, am I streaming in 480p? I honestly don't know. I don't think so. Let me just check. It's maybe YouTube doing something strange. I am broadcasting in. Oh shit! not 480p, but 1120 by 700. I don't know why it's that resolution, but it's that. Sorry, I can't change it right now because I would have to stop the stream, and I don't want to do that. So apologies. It's been a while since I did this. So okay. Um, any suggestions, guys? Anyone has any suggestions how to procedurally generate a terrain that
Jerzy,
always changes?
Jerzy, today we do enemies also.
Oh, really? You want to do enemies? Okay, man. That's gonna be boring looking at me like this, you know? I'm just gonna be sitting here and and thinking and thinking and thinking. Uh, we could do enemies, you know? I just had an idea, but I don't want to use any external plugins. Uh, I just want this to be as
I,
self-contained as possible,
you
because
can
yeah,
you can use sample image to
that
hit
is
the.
true. But I'm just
Ah,
yeah, you're getting ahead of what I wanted to show. But yeah, sample image is one of the collision checking mechanisms that we're
yes.
gonna use. But then I'm thinking how to have the enemies in there. You know, I'm not even talking about enemies that are shooting bullets or projectiles. I'm just saying that I don't want to use external plugins like particular, because particular could be a reason to could be a way to do terrain and could be a way to spawn new enemies. We could use some built-in particle effects and maybe it would work. You know what? Yeah, let's hmm. But they will also have to check how that's gonna be a little bit difficult. But it is possible if we would use. Oh yeah, particle playground. Particle playground is an awesome, very undervalued, underestimated effect. Uh, particle playground, is that it? I never remember if that's the one. I think it is. Yes, that's the one. Because I can like spawn particles that will go, sideways. When they hit an edge, they will reverse their course, which is sort of what we would like. Uh, but again, haven't tested it out. Don't want to waste anybody's time looking at me just thinking. So let's just do the basic version for now, and then we'll go forward from there. We've got one person suggesting fractal noise. And of course, if the answer is unknown, it's just like, uh, if you don't know what it is about, it's probably about money. In After Effects, if you don't know what it is about, it's probably about fractal noise. So that's what we're gonna do. Uh, but what about fractal noise? Fractal noise takes many different forms. This will be our water, so let's just make it blue. I'm actually gonna grab the correct blue from this image over here. We can use the color picker. There you go. Okay, that's the correct blue. That's the water, and we're gonna make a new solid. That's gonna be our terrain. So let's just grab another color for the terrain. Uh, terrain. And of course, one is right now obscuring the other. So what we want is just to see the water, right? So we do this, and we subtract the mask instead of adding it, correct? Lucas?
Uh, yeah, but we can do it on one layer.
Uh, we can, but that's not what I was hoping for. Come on, man. Masks? Masks are evil.
Evil.
Okay?
Yeah,
You
it's true.
don't freaking use masks, like, ever. almost ever. So, is there any other way to make this vertical gap on this solid? We could use two linear wipes, right?
Yeah.
Or some other strange thing. But there is actually a better way. Linear wipe is a transition. Oh, sorry, we can't see that. Let's just go the categories. Yeah, that's a transition. Transitions hold very, very useful effects that people often don't use because it's a transition. Nobody freaking uses transitions because they're like for high school graduation movies, right? You just don't use transitions, but they are actually quite useful. So what I'm gonna use is CC JAWS. I bet nobody ever uses CC JAWS in the way I'm gonna use it right now. So that's that. I'm gonna rotate it at 90 degrees, and I'm gonna say the height is 0%. And there you go. And we're doing that. And to address your other suggestions that we can do it in one layer, yes, we can. But since we are going to be using sample image to check if we have collided with anything or not, it would be easier to not sample and check against a given color, like blue in this case, or green. Uh, we would rather like something more universal, like the alpha channel. So that is the reason why I'm keeping the terrain on a separate layer. Okay, so we're gonna be sampling this layer and checking if we are on a opaque or transparent area. Uh, uh, oh, okay. Lucas just sent me this as a next game to do. That is, huh? Let's just leave that for another session. But it, dude, like my brain is buzzing right now. This is possible to do.
Yes, I know.
I'm thinking that it is possible. Not sure about the score though. No, the score would be possible as well.
And
Yeah,
every
yeah.
color
You know what? I just focus on this
and
because
every color this I don't know what is this
enemies.
buzz,
Yeah,
yeah, these enemies has a different score or something.
yeah. Oh, okay. Again, you know what? We are used to doing different online sessions, and since we are aiming for people to actually watch us, they can't really listen to us arguing about this, you know, and changing this on the fly. Let's just complete one thing, try to keep it consistent, and then we'll move forward. Maybe somebody will stick around. Uh, let's see. We've got someone saying light sweep. Yes. Okay. Abdi suggested that light sweep is a way to do this vertical gap. And for those of you who don't know, that is actually a correct answer as well. Uh, if I may say so myself, Abdi learned this trick from me. It's light sweep. If we apply light sweep, this is what you get, right? It's just that. It's just like it's like one trick pony, okay? Effect. So you like add light sweep to logos and text and whatnot. Boring, okay? The effects that I really love and I really appreciate are the ones that have their own blending modes. Unfortunately, light sweep does not have a blending mode, but it does have this light reception parameter, which has three options, and one of them is cutout. Okay,
Sorry.
if we do that, then we only see what we have put onto the layer, and with that, we can do a simple trick of inverting what we have put onto the layer, not in RGB, but on the alpha channel. And that's what we're gonna get. And after that, we can just use the fill effect, for example, with the same color, of course. and that will be it. Unfortunately, we have this soft edge. We can change it to linear, we can change it to whatever, and then we can add like uh, levels, right, on alpha channel and whatnot. Edge intensity, we don't need that. Edge thickness, we don't need that. Yeah, but still, we get this softness that in this case I don't really want, and I don't want to deal with it and adding more effects to deal with it. So in this case, I'm gonna stick with CC jaws because that's just one effect to make that happen. But light sweep was a really good suggestion. Okay, so we've got that. We're gonna put our player in here as well. Hello, hello, player. And of course, we're gonna make him transform freeze frame. Where is it? Freeze frame. Okay. I don't know why this is so 300 frames. Okay, 5 minutes. It was shorter than I expected. Let's just select this and do this. Okay, good. Hold on a little bit. I'm also going to open up a piece of software that I have here that will allow me to show you more of the stuff that I'm doing. Is it running or not? Nope, it's not. Oh, it is. Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. This should just take 30 seconds. I'm sorry. Should have done this beforehand. Okay, like this, like this, like this, and yes, this is good. This is good. This is good. Okay, let's just check if it works. No, it does not. Okay. Too bad. Anyway, yeah, we've got that, and we've got the terrain. So that's our plane. It's a little bit too big to my taste, so let's just make it smaller. Like 50. Okay. And okay, let's just put it in here. Okay. Yes, that looks good. We can also like put the mosaic effect on top of it for historical reasons. Let's make it 64 by 32 or something. That's no, that doesn't look good. Okay, we'll just turn it on later. So let's just leave it like that. And what else? We need to make this terrain scroll down and be constantly generated. So one of the answers was displacement map and offset and turbulent displacement. Again, Abdi suggested that, and I think that is a good suggestion. I wonder who trained you, Abdi. That's a very good suggestion. Now, this is a hint for you to tell everybody the best After Effects trainer around. There you go. So I wonder who trained you, Abdi. Oh man, that was your cue. I'm sorry. Depressed. Anyway, yeah, let's just do.
Read it.
Turbulent. Read it. You, of course. Yeah, dude. Why don't you use your voice when you're with me on Skype?
Because I was busy right now, couldn't yell at the people, so that was it. I just wanted to be a gentleman, and you. Okay, I'm a gentleman now. I'm listening.
Dude, when you are called upon and summoned by me, you always freaking respond. Okay, you always do.
Okay.
Okay, let's just continue. So, turbulent noise. No, that would be turbulent displace. Yeah. Okay, let's see what that does. We've got the size, and we've got the amount. Let's just make it a little bit bigger. But now we don't want to change the evolution because that would change the shape of the terrain. We just want it to move like downwards, right? So for that we need to offset the turbulence parameter. Sorry, let me just turn off the notifications here. And if we do, yeah, if we do that, that will sort of make it happen. Oh, an island, huh? That's cool. But still, we don't have this. See, like we don't even have to navigate. It just freaking flies straight, just like that, which is disappointing. Maybe if we change the type of the displacement. Yeah, that's better. Still, pretty much a straight line, but that's better. Twist, maybe?
Try to add the wave warp. No.
Oh, yes, wave warp. Very, very good suggestion. Okay, let's just try adding wave warp before the turbulence displays, right? Wave warp. Let's just do that. And 0 degrees. Okay, I don't like those things at the edges, but we don't have to worry about that now. Wave speed, we have to set it to 0 so it doesn't animate. And wave width like this, and wave height like this. Okay, let's just maybe increase the size of this to 800 pixels. Okay, there we go. That's good. 50, and then turbulence displays on top of it with bulge and with amount pumped up and size. Yeah, like this. Let's just see how that works. Huh. That doesn't look good. Because dude, somebody, I can hear somebody's things like from the window or something. Let's just that doesn't look good. This would have to be matched with the wave speed. This is 1 per second normally, so that means can I set it to a negative value? Yes, I can, so it goes downward. Okay, so that's 1 per second. Or we could, okay, let's just try to do this. So that's gonna be value plus 0 time multiplied by who knows how much, really, because let's see. Yeah, it still works. That is too fast. How about 50? This is why I don't like values that don't really match up with each other. I don't think this is gonna work unless we're gonna set the wave speed to 0 and we're gonna move the phase. How does the phase look? So if we go from 0 to 90 or 180, it should be the same, right? If I go from 0 to 180, it's not the same. Okay, to 360, still not the same. What am I doing wrong here? Huh. That's interesting. Okay. So maybe let's just add wave warp after it. That should make it a little bit better. No, it does not. Because it's constantly changing. Okay, uh, this is one problem I don't want to deal with right now. So, by the way, that's how you solve problems. If you don't want to deal with it, just get rid of it, just like this, and find another solution. Uh, so, yeah, let's just do this, and yeah, I guess that's good enough. Uh, just a bigger size value for the turbulence displays, and that sort of forces us to navigate around. Oh, this is strange. So let's just do it like this. Yeah, yeah, that's good. Uh, and we can put some other turbulence displays on top of it as well. Uh, turbulence displays with the same offset value. So we're gonna alt click it and just link to it. And yeah, maybe add twists, maybe do a bigger amount, and just do this. Yeah, yeah, I guess that's close to perfect. Okay, so we've got that, but now we need to add some, hold on, we need to add some of those borders. If we take a look at this, we've got those borders here, right? So how do we do that? Any suggestions?
If you add find edges.
Find edges is a good idea. Uh, however, hmm,
Find edges, and after that, uh, bevel, bevel alpha or something.
yeah, but if we add find edges, we're gonna end up with this, right? So, uh, hmm.
What about
There,
simple choker? Can you use that?
uh, yeah, you sort of could use simple choker, but we can't color the result of simple choker, unfortunately. Uh, so I'm thinking we could use Vegas, uh, and based on the alpha channel, so image contours and image contours, not intensity but alpha, and that should give us those lines. But then again, those two lines, can you see it? They're gonna be on top here as well. We don't really want that. We could of course scale the layer like 1%, and that should solve it, but that would also be faking it, which is sort of cool. We can fake things, but I'm thinking something better. How about two drop shadows? 100% opacity, one going left and one going right, because we can choose colors for those. And if we do drop shadow on this, see, we immediately get this line. So let's just set it to be 90 degrees, 100% opacity, and just move it as far away as we wish, let's say 20 pixels, and change the color to, of course, the original color, which is something. Uh, let's just try to check the original color. Not this. Yeah, yeah, you can see it.
Yes, but I think you use the solid composite after CC draw. And water right now is another layer.
Yeah, the water is another layer, yes. And that is because if I want to use this for checking my collisions, I would rather use alpha channel than some arbitrary colors, right? So that is the reason why I keep it on two separate layers, because you know me, right? I hate additional layers. So whenever I can keep things contained in one layer, I do, but that is an exception. That's a good reason to have two additional layers. Besides, we still only have three layers, which are pretty easy to control. So we've got one drop shadow, and the other drop shadow should be negative 90 degrees, and ta-da! There we go, right? So that alone seems to be working, I think. Yeah, here's our terrain. And this is the point, my dear online YouTube and Facebook viewers, where you can suggest other things to do tonight, today, whatever time it is for you, because we are just about to finish this. Uh, so we're gonna take the player and we're gonna do some expressions on it. We're gonna do actually, we can probably just separate dimensions, why not? And we're gonna take whatever value there is on the layer right now, value, and we are going to add something to it. Let's add a slider, and let's say position, and we're going to add that plus this slider, and that's gonna be it. We're just gonna be moving this guy left and right all the time. That's it. And we're gonna do it, and it's gonna check for collisions. So let's just see if this even works. So I'm gonna press spacebar to play my composition, and yeah. Unfortunately, it stops. As you can see, it just lags a little bit as I change the value of the parameter, but I can fly the plane, which is quite cool. So now the only thing we need to do is to check for collisions. So see if we are over the water or over the land, and that's pretty much it. And we can probably maybe also just increase the speed of this. So not times 50, but times 250, let's say. And let's see if that works right now. Okay, that's a little bit more challenging. Yeah. Oh, that would be a difficult spot to navigate. Okay. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. So let's just go back to the beginning, set it up as 0, and now we just have to create like a game over overlay. So we're gonna do that. Let's create a new text, game over. To stay true to the whole scheme, we're gonna choose fixed sits as a font. We're gonna use some other color, maybe white, and just to stylize it a little bit, we're gonna put drop shadow on it as well, although that wouldn't happen in nature. In nature, but yeah, let's just do this, game over, and we are going to check, like we're looking for the most efficient way to check if we are dead or alive. And since we are checking the alpha channel of this layer, that means that we can take whatever alpha value our ship is over, so this or this or this or this, and invert it into the value that we need. So if we are on a transparent pixel, which means we are alive, then the opacity of the plane is the opposite of that, because the alpha channel on this spot is 0, so our opacity of the player should be 100, right? And then we can take the game over text and say that the game over text opacity should be an opposite of the player, if that makes any sense. Does it? Hope it does. So yeah, let's just do that. We're gonna take the game over opacity and player opacity, and the simplest thing we can do is just say that this is going to be 100 negative the player. So when the player is 0, the game over is 100. When the player is 100, the game over is 0. Pretty simple stuff. And now we just have to check if the player is actually over the land or over the water. So we have to do an expression for this little thing. So how do we do that? There is an expression called sample image, which allows you to sample pixels from a given layer at a given point. And the result that you get is a 4, not 3, 4-dimensional array. R, G, B, and A. So red, green, blue, and alpha. We're just interested in the alpha. So what we're going to do is we're going to point, we're just going to call this terrain equals this layer, right? And then we're going to say terrain sample image. And so if you want to see how sample image works, what it consists of, you can just click this menu and go to layer, properties, sorry, general, and there we go, sample image. So I'm just going to click that and say point. Point is the point that we want to sample. So I just want to sample the position of the ship, right? So I'm just going to say position because we are on the ship layer, on the player layer. So when I say position without specifying the layer or anything like that, it's going to actually sample the position of ourselves. Radius, so how wide we're sampling, I guess we can leave it at this, which is just 1 point. Post effects, of course, post effects, because effects are building our terrain. And at what time? Well, at current time, so just time. And that will give us a 4-dimensional array. But I'm just interested in the alpha, so I'm just going to call this alpha equals this, and the third value in the 4th-dimensional array. Just a reminder, arrays are being indexed from 0. So array that has 4 values in it, the last value will be number 3 because the first value is number 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just do this alpha. That's cool. The value that we are going to get is going to be between 0 and 1. So it's going to be a floating value, so with like decimal places, right? So we're going to take that multiplied by 100. Okay. Huh. Seems like it's working, but it's like working in reverse. I don't know why, but it does. Oh yeah, of course, it should be, because you know I'm sampling this point on a layer which is transparent, so the ship is also transparent. We need to take the invert of that, so I'm going to say 100 negative that alpha, and that should be cool. There you go. But I don't know why we are able to fly here. Oh, okay, because we need to take into account that this terrain layer is bigger than the composition and everything. We could take that into account, but I'm too lazy to do that. So again, I'm going to solve a problem by avoiding it. In this case, I'm just going to pre-compose this. So let's just call this terrain, and that should theoretically fix the problem. Did it? Yes, it did. Pretty cool. We can also maybe take the not just single point, because you can see we can fly like this until this very point, so the anchor point of the ship, until that samples something here on the edge. Huh, that's interesting as well. It's still a valid move. We don't want that, so Instead of having that, we're going to say width of our layer, so the width of the player, and height of the player, and we're going to divide it by 2 because that's just how it works. It's like a radius on a circle, so it's half the not circumference, but like this I don't know the English term of it. Okay, let's just see. Okay, that's sort of okay, but we don't want this fading effect. The minute we just meet the edge, we want it to just work. So we are going to do math floor of this sample. So this will either give us 1 or 0. It's just, simple as that. So as soon as I just touch the edge, it should, doesn't. Okay, maybe just make it smaller. We're actually not divided by 2. Let's see that. Divided by, let's say 4 or even 8. Let's see that. Yeah, because we do want some wiggle room, but not too much. Yeah, that seems okay. Yeah, let's freaking play the game. I guess that's it. Who would have thought that would be that simple? And of course, maybe do some. Okay, oh, that's awesome. Good. 64, let's do. Okay, cool. That's
Now,
so
can
cool.
you do that in 360?
In 360? Oh, in 360. Of course I can. With metal skybox that I have worked on as well. If you haven't know that, so there we go. So, by the way, very, very cool plugin. So, let's play the game. And we are flying the plane. Unfortunately, we cannot keep the state of the game, so we can't check if we've been dead before or if we haven't. So, in other words, if I just crash right now, the game will continue to scroll the terrain, and eventually I will end up over the water and I will not be dead anymore. But still, I think that sort of proves the point, the concept. Let's just this is easy. We have to be on the easy level. Let's just take a look at this. I'm gonna crash right now, right? And that is what will happen. Unfortunately, we cannot stop this playback at with any technique that is known to me. I was thinking about like throwing, like forcing an error, but in this version of After Effects, even if you have expression errors or something like that, it will just continue to work. So there's really no way to prevent it from scrolling forward. But yeah, I guess that's it. So if anyone has any suggestions what to do next, because we've been online for what, an hour, just an hour. We could do more. Any yeah.
A jeśli byś stworzył sobie kompozycję z ostatnią planszą i podczas tego, jak jest game over, przeskakiwał do ostatniej planszy i tym samym zatrzymywał ten offset tego całego terenu?
Okay, yeah. Lucas suggested that we did a separate level, like a final level or something, and just jump to it as we crash. Whatever our plan would be, that is not possible, unfortunately, because you can't remember the state in which your composition was at a given time. I mean, you can, but it's so resource intensive. You would have to backtrack all the frames to see how that was. So That's the reason why you can't do it. That's the reason why you can't have lives in this game, or even fuel that runs out and you have to collide with a certain object to regain fuel. You just can't do that, unfortunately. Uh, but then again, it's sort of a fun exercise to show how to use sample image in a creative, not obvious way. But the code is hopefully quite simple to understand. I'll just put it up here on the screen. And as I wait for some other suggestions for today uh, that we can still do, I'll just go ahead and have myself a little break. So uh, I'll just put in a little text here saying, I'll be back shortly. And with that, I'm gonna leave you. Hopefully, you can read the text and just, yeah, be right back. Okay, I'll just need a few more minutes, but I figured I'll just maybe do a small expression as a countdown. Something I've been asked about so many times that I think it's worth showing you guys. Let's just do. I'm gonna be out for, let's say, 3 minutes. I'm gonna put 3 and 2 commas in there, and let's just do this, and I'll be back in, and we're just gonna do this. Okay, and what we're gonna do is just do a simple, very simple expression. First of all, we're gonna calculate the time. That's how I usually call the variable calculating some time variables. So let's just do this. The time equals this comp duration minus the time that has already elapsed. So minus time, right? And that should give us the amount of seconds that we are left with till the end of the composition. So that's good, but we would like to keep this in math floor. So like this. So we don't have any decimal values. So that's going to be just like this. And it decreases every second, right? So we need to convert this into seconds and minutes, right? So let's just say seconds is equal to the time. What function, Lucas? Come on, I know you know it.
Modulo.
Modulus, or whatever you call it in English. So modulus 60, because that is how many seconds there are in a minute. And that should give us the remainder of the division by 60. It sounds complicated, but in essence, it just gives us 59 way back to 0, and then it loops back. Okay, so if you don't know what remainders are and other things like that, modulus function loops numbers. Okay, that's how we should remember it. And the next one is minutes, and minutes would be the time, but divided by 60. So how many 60s are in the time left? And just a reminder, the time is in seconds, but we don't want that to be, again, like a decimal value. We want this to be a rounded down version. So math floor from that division, and that will give us 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 0 minutes, and then that's it. And we just need to combine all of that. As you remember, before we started this, I said I'll be back in, and I've made this hash in there. That's just a habit of mine. I usually do this specifically when I want to replace something in the text, and we are going to use some super awesome thing, which is, let's just call this value. Yeah, that works. So value dot something you can't find in this menu. Okay, so that's going to be some secret knowledge there. Value dot replace. What do I want to replace? I want to replace this thing. Okay, what do I want to replace it with? Well, I want to replace it with minutes plus seconds, and that should just work. So with that, I'll leave you again and be back in 3 minutes or less. Aha! Perfect timing, it seems. Okay, let's see what you guys told me on Skype. Okay, that's one thing. And let's see what you guys said over here. How do we have 2 digits when we are under 10? We do? We shouldn't, really. No, we don't. Uh, Joel, do you mean that you want... I'm not actually sure what you're asking. We have... Oh, that we should have 2 digits on the seconds, but we only have one, right? We should have like 2 digits. Okay. For that, that is a common problem. We should. Okay. Abdi is leaving us. Okay. See ya. I think only Lucas is left. Are you there? Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Good. I can always count on Lucas. Like he has so crazy ideas that we sit here for like 10 or 13 hours even at a time. This is a problem that we know we have a value that is less than 10, and we want to add leading zeros basically. So let me show you how to solve problems like this. I do have a function for that, but let's just do this like this. Okay. So we are going to say JavaScript, okay, not .com, but just JavaScript, and we're gonna say padding, because that is what's this called. It's called padding. So we want to add leading zeros, 1, 2, 50, how many you wish. So expressions are basically JavaScript. Okay, it's not a separate language. Like this function called replace, it doesn't come from expressions themselves. You can't find it in here, but it is JavaScript based. So value, in this case, is a string value, so it's a text value, and you can replace characters in it and do much more with it. But replace is like a very simple thing to do. So what we're gonna look for is for JavaScript padding leading zeros, for example, and you're just gonna look for a solution. Stack Overflow is a very good source of code. Convert 1 to 0.0000001. Let's just see. And some people are gonna probably just do some ifs and other stuff. This is not good. I wonder if somebody has a clever solution like I do in here. Number prototype. Oh man, that's very much too much code if you ask me. Like I have this trick where I multiply the value by some enormous number, and then I just pad from the right. I just trim the string from the right, and that usually works. So we could sort of do that, but let's see if we can find some other solution here. Padding, if len is bigger than width, no, no, no. Array, no. Arrays are hard to process. No, 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 no. Okay, so I'm going to just open a old project of mine and just look for this function because I don't remember it by heart right now. I just know I have it somewhere. It should be in here. Prototype 17. Yeah, let's just open this up and see what's in there. Ooh, generic error. Oh shit. Really? Really? Okay. Time. Okay, here we go. That looks good. here is a code for the time, if you're interested. Uh, Sorry, can't show it to you entirely, but we can just grab this one function that's on the top that I call pad, and we're just going to steal it from here, just delete everything else, and just add it on top of our code. And right now it doesn't change anything, right? Why? Because I haven't used it yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that seconds and minutes, let's just do seconds equal to pad, and that should be the first thing, I think. That's gonna be seconds, and then how many zeros, how many characters I want in total. So that's gonna be that, and minutes, it's gonna be the same thing. So padding, let's call it seconds and 2 as well. That's gonna be it. So now when we click it, yes, we get the correct result. So there you go. And that's exactly what it's doing. This is using like a scientific notation of adding, like having the e value. You know, when you put some large numbers in your calculator and you just divide or multiply, it just gives you this result at 6e blah 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 blah. Just go on to Wikipedia and learn about the scientific notation. This is using that trick, and then it just slices from the back as many characters as we wish. So negative s is the number of characters we want to slice from the back, so from the right edge of the text. And there we go. So that's doing what I said. It just adds like this enormous number to our original number, and then it just grabs 2 last characters. So it just adds like 100 billion, right, or something. So enormous amount of zeros, and there's this. That's our number at the end of it, and that's what we do. So there you go. Oh, this should be minutes, not seconds. Minutes. Okay. And yes, works like a charm. Okay, let's see if you guys have any more suggestions. Oh, I'm sorry, Joel, that you can't read it. I wish I could do something about it. Hold on. Let's just try it again. No, that doesn't work. Let's get rid of that, and just give me a second. I'll figure it out. Let's just do this. Okay. Turn this off. Huh, doesn't work. That's interesting. Okay.
Maybe try to zoom in.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to do. You know, I have this.
Okay.
We could do like Windows Plus, I guess. Yes. Okay. So there you go. That's what the code looks like. And I'll just leave it hanging in here for a couple more seconds. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take the chance and just go out for an activity that if anyone under the age is listening us, I'm not gonna mention because I don't want to be a bad influence. But let's just leave it hanging in here, and I'll be right back. And you guys should just give me some ideas to what to do next. So I'm gonna turn off the mic for now for just a little bit, and be back in like 2 minutes or something. Okay, guys, so I'm back. Let's see if there are any more suggestions to what we should do. What would you guys say about jumping into Cinema 4D and do some espresso? I think it's related to what we're actually showing tonight. Yes, it is. But unfortunately, my license, my NFR, not for resale license, has expired for cinema, and I haven't received an update yet. So I can't do cinema tonight, unfortunately. I'm sorry. But for those of you who do not know that, I do cinema. I actually train in cinema here in Poland. Like it's called like introductory something. I don't know. Yeah, we do have a cinema for the um, training sessions where we do like from zero to hero. So we start with nothing and we end up knowing almost everything about almost everything. So yeah, that's it. In 5 days, mind blown. Okay,
You become the hero.
you become the hero. Yeah, you do become the hero. And Lucas actually knows that. You haven't been on my Cinema 4D training, haven't you? Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you haven't been there. You've been on After Effects, like
my mind explode.
like the first training session and the second training session. Yeah, we have like two. Uh,
Yeah, I waiting for the free
for
second.
yeah for the third. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
man, we are going to do the third. Actually, where do I have this? I think I have it in CS6 probably because, as mentioned at the beginning of this training session, I really don't like the new version of After Effects, the newest version of After Effects. The last stable version that I use is 2014, but I prefer to work in the earlier one as often as possible. So I'm just gonna switch back here, turn off the webcam, and go back to CS6, and yeah, we can get rid of this thing as well. And maybe I have it opened in here. No. Okay, so let's just go over here and just open it up because I do have it somewhere. Uh, you know what? Let's just. I don't want to show you my folder structure. Although I could, but that would reveal some information that are secret, so I can't. Um, let's just try this. Stage 3. Oh, okay. Uh, so not CS6, probably 2014. Let's try that. Any other suggestions? Let's just see if there are any. Uh, Okay, okay. Da-da-da-da. Oh, it opened up on a different screen. That's interesting. Let's just move it over here. And let's just open it up. No, 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 no. Stage 2. Okay, let's just try this. And what Lucas mentioned is a training session, probably like a 3 or 5 day session that I plan to do. But in order to be a part of it, you need to be in Poland, unfortunately. Because this is like a live training, not online, but you are actually in a room with me and we are doing some amazing stuff. And this is the stuff that we will be doing. So this would, if I would have to call it somehow, it would be bringing game key art to live, to life. Sorry, to life. Webcam. Does it work? Yes, it does. It's awesome that you can rely on the tools that you've built yourself. So yeah, this was like a JPEG that I have received, and I had to bring it to life. So make all the elements move. The fire is procedural. The light is procedural. The fog is procedural. Procedural. It loops. This is a
and no keyframes.
and of course, I mean, hardly any keyframes. There are some keyframes because that's just how this software works. But they are made in a way that they don't really bother me. You know, you just like for example, in traditional animation, this is called pose to pose. So I have two poses for every character. Like, for example, the warrior here in the middle, he's like standing here with his sword, and then he's standing here with his sword, and we're just doing this sort of motion that he's ready to attack. You know, like the idle motion. So we're doing that. I can actually show you a YouTube video of that. That'll be probably better than just uh, doing that. Let's just see. It should be probably. Oh, I don't know if I can. Can I freaking switch without terminating the transmission? I don't think I can. Hmm. That's too bad. Uh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. I know what I can show you. You can go to um, return to games.com. And while you are here, you can click on the Book of Demons. This is the game that I have worked on. Yes, here we go. So the third edition of the Ultimate Multanan training is going to be recreating this. Doesn't look like there's much to it, but there actually is a lot of work to it. Especially that the fires are all procedural, made from multiple fractal noises, and uh, yeah, it's a little bit strange, but I am most proud of not the fire really, but the fog, the mist that surrounds the entire scene. Like this is the best mist ever made in After Effects. Like seriously, this mist is uh, like the loops do not occur by crossfading. Crossfading is lazy. This is actually evolving into the same state that it began with. Uh, there is one, yeah, uh, this thing. Oh, guys, this thing rendered, and I'm not kidding, this rendered for like 5 or 6 hours. This is a very special 32-bit displacement map uh, that accommodates the movement of most of the fog elements um, in this image. So yeah. Anyway, I can brag about this all night. So instead of doing that, let's see if we have any other suggestions. And if we do not, then I guess we will call it a night. Uh, no, not this. Oh, here we are. What softs do I master? Do I know any web design? Yes, I do. I mean, I used to be a web developer over a decade ago, but I left it for a reason. One of the reasons was that it was evolving faster than you could keep up with it, uh, and just wasn't really worth my time. You know, there was enough people doing that already, and to be able to add on top of that, I would have to really just do nothing else. I would just have to sit in my cave and just freaking do web design, web development actually, all the time. And I have got other stuff to do, like meet with you guys, which I haven't done in a while for some reasons. But yeah, I want to go back to it and I want to keep it up and I want to do that. So, yes, I do know web design, I do know web development, but my knowledge of that has, what's the word, receded. Uh, Basically, I do know the things that happen, but if I were to just, create something out of the blue just right now, I'm not the guy to do it. There are other better than me that do it, good enough, so I'll leave it to them. What other software do I master? Oh, dude, anything that is related to the things that we're doing right now. So anything that has something to do with moving, with motion pictures. That's how you call it professionally. So either be it tracking, be it 3D graphics. I'm actually a TD, so technical director for few companies, to be honest. At the same time, once you go there and you fix the problems and set up the pipeline and everything correctly, then there's hardly any more work for you to do. So it's just like with good IT specialists. Okay, once they fix everything, they just sit around and play freaking CS:GO or whatever it is that they play right now. I just wait for their call, and they call me in the middle of the night, 3 a.m. in the morning, and they say, "Dude, something's broken," and I just take my cell phone and just log in to the console, and yeah, one I open and it's done, and that's what you do. Do I know Houdini? Not as much as I would like to. And I'm working on that. I'm actually getting into Houdini again because, oh, the way the procedural generation of geometry in there works is just so sexy to me. Uh, it really is, right? Is it, Lucas? It's like when you do something. Uh,
Yes, I try do something in Houdini, but
People say
this
that
is
Houdini
crazy
is,
shit.
dude. Like people say that Houdini is difficult to get into. It's actually not. It especially shouldn't be hard to get into for you once you've been to my trainings that you have been. You have this mindset right now to see patterns, see relations, and see like equations popping up from everywhere. That is sort of a mindset that is needed for Houdini. And the problem is that many people don't have that mindset. They're just not used to thinking about things in that way. Yeah, can I recommend a good book about cinema 4D? Sir. Ah, I just, sir. Uh, Unfortunately, I can't because I would never recommend something that I haven't personally read. And since I've been in the 3D world before Google existed, before YouTube existed, or Facebook existed, or any other of those things that we currently take for granted, I had to learn it by heart. I had to learn it by doing. So uh, there's hardly any book right now that would expand what I know. And if when you're in there, when you're in 3D or 2D graphics or motion pictures or whatever, uh, if you're in there for long enough, you sort of start to see that everything is governed by the same set of rules. It's really just the interface that changes. Like the math is the same, the process is the same. That's why I always call After Effects not a motion graphics tool or compositing tool. I call it graphics processing tool. I think that's how it's called, scientifically. So yeah, that's that's there. Let's see. I see some. Oh, very good. I see some good comments. It's guys. Keep them coming. I just love to talk with you. But you know, since we're still broadcasting, I sort of feel an obligation to actually do something. Preferably in After Effects, preferably with expressions. Just show me something that you have done lately or that you wanted to do lately and had troubles with it, and we'll just try to solve it online right now, live, with no preparation. That's one of the reasons why that sounds totally narcissistic of me, but that's the reason why I love my tutorials because they are made with no preparation. Uh, Prepared tutorials always work, and then you try to follow them, and everything breaks down, right? So when I'm gonna have a problem, you're gonna see me solve it. Uh, that is the value that I value the most. So just give me something to do, And I'm gonna see what other suggestions there are in here. Oh, Daniel, uh, I'm so glad, so happy, and it's always very encouraging and uplifting to see a comment like yours that you were watching my stuff like 4 years ago and now you're studying this stuff. It's ah it just sort of ensures me that I am at the right place in my life, if that makes any sense. It's great. It's great. Thank you, thank you. I wouldn't be doing this if not for you or people like you. Yeah, really. I'm totally honest. Okay, let's see. Joel asks me, do you think we can do reaction diffusion with After Effects expressions? Uh, Reaction diffusion. Can you be more specific? Because that sounds intriguing. Uh, and as I wait for Joel to let me know, oh yeah, let's see. I was just about to say let's see what Lucas has to say, and he just sent me a GIF file. Let's just see what that is. Uh, let's just go here, save the file. Because Lucas, you have your own folder on my hard drive, which just freaking elevates you to a different level. So let's just see what you just sent me. Another game, okay. Uh, oh, yes. Oh man, that would be. Mm.
No. Zastanawiam się, jak można zrobić to, że ona się będzie odbijać pod różnymi kątami od ścianek.
Hmm. Yeah, Lucas asked me how would one do that? It actually bounces off according to the reflection math. Uh, Shit, man! Like this and the Space Invaders that you sent earlier. This and that is all possible if I recall correctly. All the functions that are in there, and I think I am. This is all possible with Particle Playground, but uh, I'm not 100% certain. That is something that I would have to sort of prepare myself to do. But that is a very, very good idea. And I think it's such a good idea that we're also going to do this on our Polish closed Facebook group because this is awesome. Like we're going to build a actual game, keeping a score, and all of that. Yes, yes,
We did it.
that's gonna be awesome. I feel so alive right now, guys. Let's see what else do you have to say. A way to cache motion blur to use it again without new calculations. Oh, a question asked by Peter. No, I actually don't. Um, there is depends on what sort of motion blur you're using because what we could do is we could have shit like we're not doing anything in After Effects, so as well I might as well just do uh, this. Does it work? It works on this, but it doesn't work on. There you are. Haha. So yeah, what we could do, if you would have like a CG graphics rendered from Cinema 4D or 3D Studio Max or Blender or whatever, you could use like a motion vector render pass. So that is a special kind of render that doesn't look good but has different colors in it, and the colors determine the vector of motion of a given pixel on the screen. So we don't have to cache it, you just have it rendered. So you could sort of treat it as cache, But then to be able to use it, you need a specialized plugin, and a specialized plugin like that would be called Real Smart Motion Blur. Uh, there's a version that uses vectors, so you could use that. Um, but if you want to generate it and cache it, then if I recall, you could use Real Smart Motion Blur from Revision Effects as well, and just have that rendered into a proxy file, for example, and then use it on the Real Smart Motion Blur effect that just blurs the shit out. Um, yeah, I think that would be it. I do not recall any other method of doing that. To be honest, I haven't done that personally. And that's probably because I just work in a very specific way uh, that is just so freaking optimal uh, and fast and just does things correctly that I have no need for tools like that. And that is an advantage if you're doing the work, but that's a disadvantage because I don't come up with ideas to do tutorials about the subjects that most people have problems with. So there you go. Okay, but if you have to use the scene over and over again with 100 different logos, but you don't want AE to calculate motion blur based on the calculated motion vectors. Well, yeah, well, you can render calculated motion vectors from After Effects using Real Smart Motion Blur, if I recall correctly. And if you just render that, then it should work. But yeah, I guess if you would render that from different logos, that would look different for a given logo. So if you have a motion, for example, with a camera and something else, you could replace the logo with like a checkerboard solid or like a fractal noise solid and render motion vectors from that, and then use that on top of the logo that you already have, so that you have the pure motion itself, and that should theoretically solve your problem. Well, yeah, based on real life footage. Well, just like I said, the Real Smart Motion Blur, I believe it has a mode in which it renders the motion vectors that it detected. So you can render those vectors and then reuse them in a plugin. So that's what I'm thinking. That is the only thing that comes to my mind at this point, and I don't feel the need to look any further because that should solve the problem. Git burden. I like effects that blur shit. Ta-da! Yeah, there you go. Uh, Hold on. Yeah. So guys, just give me something to work with. Give me something to work with. Yes, it's not possible with After Effects blurs unless you're talking about pixel motion blur, but that one cannot be rendered into motion vectors. That can be then rendered into a separate file and then reused over and over. It just works like a regular blur, just like that. Uh, but it is cool. It is cool. Let me just um, open up. Let's just go to here and just open up Revision FX. There we go. revisionfx.com, and that has products. Real Smart Motion Blur. If you open this up, oh, by the way, guys, now I'm addressing the guys from Revision FX. I can see the website has been updated, but it needs to be a little bit more updated. Oh shit! What am I saying? Like my website have been like freaking dead for past 6 years or something. Okay, forget I said anything. Yeah, real smart motion blur. Uh, let's look at the. Are there any features or anything? Essential for 3D. Okay, After Effects. Pricing trial. I remember their effects are really expensive, if I remember correctly. But there are no automatic tracking, 3D motion vector input. Yes, object separation, track point guidance, GPU accelerated. That's cool. Uh, when I was using this last time, there was no GPU acceleration concept back then. So yeah, I know about this stuff. Uh, Sorry, I can't really show you anything more about this other than this video that you can view on your own. Da 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 da. Yeah, that does look good. See, these are the motion vectors, and if I remember, you can render them. Like if you apply the effect, you can view the motion vectors or you can view the result, the final result. So you could, in theory, render those out and then feed them back in, but don't want to say anything for certain because I haven't used this plugin for a while. Since we have pixel motion blur in After Effects, I don't use it any longer. Let's just see what we have here. Uh, okay, so I did this thing for a project where I took a sound file, converted that to an array of numbers based on time and frequency. That's interesting. And then took those numbers and generated a 3D mesh from it with Maya to get a 3D representation of the audio file. Is there a way to do something similar with a lot less work in After Effects? Uh, I would have to say yes, but the question is if it's more efficient, because you said with a lot of with less work, right? Uh, I'm always up for a challenge and for a thing that can be done in After Effects against all odds. And that would be one of the cases. I would have to say that we would have to use a dedicated plugin like Sound Keys from Trapcode. Let's see if I have those in here. Sound Keys. Do I have them? Trapcode. Sound Keys. Yes, I do. I'm not much of a plugin guy, uh, mostly because of this reason. If there's any beginners watching us, so watch closely. I've actually seen so many times an effect or a plugin that's solving a problem that does not really exist. Okay, you know, there's a if you want to do a gradient, for example, you just type in gradient. Oh, there's no gradient. So no, gradients are called ramps in After Effects. So we put in ramp. Okay, gradient ramp. Oh, there's a ramp, but there are only two colors to do. So what if I want to have a 3-color gradient? Then some people create shape layers. Shape layers are evil, just as masks are. Uh, yes, they are. Um, so there are companies that produce plugins like, the basic version of gradient ramp, 3 colors. Then there's advanced version, 5 colors, and there's the super pro version with 8 colors. Ooh, and each effect costs like $50 or something, and then people buy it. It hurts me, like it physically hurts me. Okay, so in order to do like a multicolor gradient, what you could do, if you want a 3-color, let's just try tritone. Okay, this is one of the color filters that remaps the values to some other values. It's equivalent of gradient map in Photoshop. Not exact because it only has 3 colors, but just bear with me. Okay, so let's just do red, let's just do green like this, and let's just do blue, right? Ta-da! Freaking $50 saved. Okay, we can after that do CC toner. So let's just do that. This allows us to have up to 5 colors. That's cool. So red, let's just go to like this pinkish violet, then like blue, and then like greenish something, and then orange, right? Ta-da! Again, $50 saved. And then we have the infamous Colorama, which allows you to do whatever the hell you want. So you just open up the output cycle and you can add colors just by clicking here and just adding new colors, whatever you wish, in here, and you can just move them around and just remap everything. And this is a equivalent of gradient map from Photoshop if you've ever used it. Plus, Colorama comes with many great presets like fire or fire and smoke or gold. That's pretty cool. So let's just grab golden. Ooh, that's awesome. And we're going to add instead of doing this, we're going to have a text layer. So get rid of this and create a new text layer and say golden text. There we go. Character, yes, and let's just say bold. Let's just make it bigger and apply those effects here. And with the ramp, we're just gonna do this and this. And also, to get rid of this nasty edge that we have here, we're gonna go to the modify and select modify alpha, turn it off, and there we go, like a freaking golden text, right, with multiple colored gradient. So there you go. So getting back to the point, I'm not really a guy for many plugins, but if there are plugins that I always have on my system, those are trapcode plugins, like every single one of them, maybe with exception of EcoSpace, because that's sort of a waste of. Sorry, Peter. Peter's the one who developed those plugins. Sorry, Peter. EcoSpace is just no, just no, 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 no. Everything else super cool. So we've got the sound keys effect, sound keys, and this allows us to bring a audio file. Let me just grab one from the stock music. I should have something in here. Audio jungle. Let's just grab this. Something. Okay, that's fun. So in here we can just say audio layer, this one, and we've got all those frequencies, and we can have up to 3 ranges that we want to map. So range number 1 is active, and it's this that we can see, this right here. So I can just put it over like here and here, and this will either give me just this one bar of frequencies, or it will average everything that is selected within that box. Okay, so I can have up to 3 boxes, and I can of course have up to whatever number of instances of sound keys I wish. The only downfall is that I have to convert that to keyframes. So we can have this, you've got this apply command in here. Oops, sorry. And let's just grab this, and I click apply, and this calculates and produces the keyframes for the output 1 for the range 1. Not a huge cost to pay, but that's just how After Effects is built. I know that this cannot be done, that you can link to it dynamically. It actually has to produce those keyframes. It's a long story, but it just has to produce those keyframes. But yeah, that's how I would try to do this. If you wouldn't want to use sound keys, here's a cool tip, something that not many people know. We can have like multiple copies of this layer. Let's just call this baseline, and I'm gonna have another called treble. Let's just do 2. You know that we can right click and go to keyframe assistant, convert audio to keyframes, right? Everybody knows that, no secret there. But what not everybody knows is that you can actually apply audio effects from your effects and presets palette, and those effects will be accounted or will be included in your conversion. So I'm gonna just say this is going to be our original, and I'm gonna just convert audio to keyframes like this. Original. I'm gonna convert the trebles, but first I'm gonna apply like bass and treble filter. I'm gonna make this minus 100, and I'm gonna plus 100 this, and maybe do it twice. And I'm gonna just convert audio to keyframes here, and that's gonna be our treble. And then I'm gonna do the same for the bass line. Bass 100 and minus 100 here, and do it twice as well, and convert audio to keyframes. Okay, and this is going to be our... So if this did not work, all the values on all the null layers should be the same, but in fact they are not. Okay, so we're going to open this up and take a look at it in the graph viewer. Let's just see. This is our original, this is our bass line, and this is our treble line. Okay, 3 different results. They are similar, probably because the music is not really bass sounding, but yeah, it's that. So you can use it. Okay. Oh man, so many comments. Okay. Oh, reaction diffusion. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. Whew. It's an effect when you draw some dots, and from there the soft draw automatically lines which never cross, and at the end you have a nice pattern. That's the official answer. Okay. After Effects is not, unfortunately, it's unfortunately not built to do such things. That would require a plugin. However, if you want to have a source, like an input source, like an image sequence or whatever, to do that, I would recommend processing. That's a JavaScript sort of based programming language that is aimed at producing graphical results. It's just called processing. That's it. Processing. There you go. Processing.org. And you can do stuff like that in this programming language. And you can just render them out or save them out into a sequence of files if you actually need to do that. Or that needs to be a plugin. So just let me make a mental note to create a plugin like that for you guys, if anyone else needs it. That's the key point here, because developing a plugin takes a lot of time and a lot of resources. So yeah, let's see what I mean by less work in the project. Use code in Maya standalone Python code for software. Okay. Why shape layers are evil? For the same reasons masks are evil. It's a long discussion. Oh, Joel, I fell in love with CC Composite thanks to you. I'm so glad to hear that. Not many people use it because, the way people get familiar with After Effects and what every effect is doing is that, oh yeah, I'm just gonna import some shit here and I'm just gonna try a bunch of effects on it. And that's a good approach, of course. Why not do that? But then again, they come across an effect that, if not used correctly or used with default settings, doesn't really do much, right? So let's just go here and let's just grab this and just grab some footage in here. So yeah, we've got this footage, for example. Okay, Hitman. Uh, is he pointing a gun? Yes, he is. Didn't really. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so we've got this footage of a guy pointing a gun, and we want to do something with it. Okay, uh, the most, the oldest trick in the book for graphics processing and making things look nicer is blending the source with itself after it's been blurred or something. So what you normally do is you take this piece of footage, let's just do some processing on it. I'm gonna duplicate it and I'm gonna put like a fast blur on top of it, right? Repeat edge pixels, I'm gonna blur it, and then I'm gonna overlay it on top. So I'm gonna just set the blending mode to screen, let's say. Ooh, dreamy look. Okay, like we're having a dream of somebody shooting us. Hope nobody has that dream, but who knows. So you've got two layers. Bad. Two layers are bad. If you can have one, two are always bad. Three are even badder. Okay, so instead of doing this, you just blur the original footage like that, and you use CC Composite to restore the original. That is what CC Composite is doing. If I turn this fast blur off just for now and apply CC Composite, oh, nothing happened. Useless effect. The same happens with Colorama, for example. You apply Colorama and holy shit, I don't need a predator look in my movie, and that's all, right? You just put those two effects in the area of your brain that's called do not attempt again, which is just silly. So you apply fast blur, you apply CC Composite, and the original is being restored. And as I said at the beginning of the session, uh, all effects that have their own blending mode deserve a special place in my heart, and that includes CC Composite, Circle effect as well, very very powerful effect, Fractal Noise, and some others. So yeah, Composite Original in the front. No, we want it to be in screen, and we get the same result on one layer. Now we can just save it as a preset. Boink. Here we go, save as preset, and we can reuse it whenever we wish. So CC Composite is very very powerful, very useful. Just a warning, try not to use it on text layers. Text layers are very specific layers. Like under the hood, there are just solids in the size of your composition that have vector masks in the shape of the text that you wanted to type. And masks are evil, just as shape layers are evil. So that can cause problems, and unfortunately, it does from time to time. Let's see, CC Composite, okay. I bet you'll lose Colorama. I won. Yes, you did. How do I deal with banding in my gradients? I just design them in a way that the banding does not occur. And if it does occur, because the difference between colors is really, really small, I just add some noise on top of it. Like, there's really nothing more that you can do. You can, of course, switch to 32 bits, but seriously, in the end, you're only seeing 8 bits on your screen. 32 bits is for totally different purposes. It's like for CG compositing, like live action footage with 3D rendered stuff that is being purposefully rendered in 32 bits so that you can relight it and do all sorts of stuff. So just Personally, I had to use 32 bits really a handful of times in my work, and I've been doing this shit for like almost 20 years. So go figure. Okay. Uh, yeah. Uh, oh, Peter. He said that's racism. What is? Holy shit! I forgot that we're living in an age that everything is racist, everything is sexist, and everybody gets offended by everything. Whatever I said, I had no ill intentions or anything. So yeah. Uh, KCC composite plus new composite mask. Yeah, the composite mask feature. That one bugs me, really. I understand the need for it, but again, I never had to use it before it came into being, so no, just no. Uh, uh, oh, mask racism. Well, dude, if something is evil, I'm just gonna call it. I'm not gonna color code it. You know. Sorry. Okay, guys, it's so awesome to talk with you and know that you are still out there. Um, but I'd like to I'd like this session to have some more value to someone who might view it in like a week or tomorrow or like a month from now, and not just having me talk and talk and talk and talk. Let's actually add some value and let's actually do something useful. Uh, Łukasz, you know I'm counting on you. I'm going out for a short smoke, short break, and after that, I hope to see some comments, suggestions, or something to be done. And if there are none, we're just gonna call it a day or call it a night. So yeah, see you in a bit. Okay, guys, I'm back. Lucas just told me that one of you asked about value at time. Do something with value at time. Do you think you can do a chroma key with only levels and blending modes? Uh, as a matter of fact, I can, but I don't have the proper footage to test that out. I recall I did a session once, probably in my Polish speaking era, called Keying Without Chroma Keying. It was for a music video. I think I can find it somewhere in here. Let's just uh, Maltanen live volumetric speed grade. uh, Shit, it was somewhere in here, uh, but still, I can't show you what it was. uh, so yeah, that doesn't really matter. uh, let's see. Let's do something with value at time. Okay, that's a good idea. Uh, like just yesterday, I was talking with a friend of mine, and our friendship will probably spawn some very exciting new tools for you guys and for me, because uh, this dude is a plugin developer, like a native plugin developer, something that I just don't have the time to work on. Uh, it would require me to relearn some of the skills that I used to have. I just don't want to get into that. There are so many people better than me at it, that has been doing it for as long as I've been doing After Effects like on its own. So I leave plugin developing for them. By the way, if any of you guys is C plus plus or C sharp, yeah, advanced programmer, let's keep in touch because we can change the world. I'm fucking serious. Okay. So with that in mind, yeah, I met a new person. We became friends, and we're gonna do some awesome plugins together. Uh, and he just showed me yesterday, I think, some cool thing that he did, and I'm just gonna recreate that for you. Um, oh shit, sorry. What did I click? Here we go. Okay. So let's just create a new composition. I'm just gonna work in like SD just for the purpose of this transmission. And let's just go ahead and find some fishes. Fish. We're gonna type in fish into After Effects. Oh, there you go. Nice fish. We're just gonna do one fish. Save as, not this, save graphics as PNG. Very good. We're gonna make a custom particle system because that is what that's gonna be. Uh, Fish. We're gonna call it fish.png, and we're gonna import that fish into our After Effects. So fish. Sorry. Over here, fish, 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 fish. There we go. We're gonna make a new fish out of it. Let's make it. I don't know, 200 frames long or something. Something like that. We're gonna increase the size of the composition a little bit. 500 by 180. This is a habit that I have. If I have some values just, oh, maybe by 200, that are not very nicely rounded. I usually round them up or down, doesn't really matter. So they are easier to remember and easier to do math on in your head. So if I had like 183 and I would like to multiply it by 2, it's 83, okay, it's 3 times, okay, that's too much. 200 by 2, 400, pretty easy thing. And that really pays, it really gives back and gives back if you keep track of it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like a very simple puppet tool animation here. I was gonna just wiggle the tail. I'm just gonna do this, and we're gonna wiggle the tail up and down. Instead of animating it by hand, which we can do, by the way, for those of you who don't know, you can just hold the Control key or Command key on Mac and grab a pin and just move the pin around, and it will record what you're doing. So, for example, and as you can see, it recorded keyframes. Okay, but we don't really want to do that because we're super pro and keyframes are lame. We don't want to do that. So let's just reset. Can I reset it? Yes, I can. Okay. So we're going to put a sine wave on top of this. Or some wiggle. Yeah, let's just do wiggle. Sine waves are complicated. So let's just do wiggle. Wiggle, let's say 2 times a second, and let's say in the radius of 60. And that's too much. Maybe in the radius of 30. Yeah. But what we want to do is we want to loop this. Okay, so we want the first frame to be exactly the same as the last frame. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a slider on top of our fish. Can you hear me? Yes, you can. Okay, so slider on top of the fish, and we are going to call this power. And this power will go from 0 to 1 and from 1 to 0. And we're just going to animate it from 0 to 1. Okay, and then from 1 to 0 again. And we are just going to multiply the value that we are wiggling by this number. So if we multiply it by 0, that will mean there's no wiggle. If we multiply it by 1, it means it's just the value that we have used. So we're going to say 30 multiplied by this value, which is already animated. Okay, so the first frame should be no wiggling because there was 0 put on the power, as you can see, and the same at the end. So that looks cool. Let's see. Oh, okay, it needs 2 frames to render. Let's see. Okay, and then it stops. Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, let's just leave it at that. So that's our fish, and that is going to be our particle. Let me just open up the chat so I can see what you're saying. Not saying anything, so I hope that you are listening to me at least. So we've got that, and what we're going to do is we're going to have this fish. We're going to have multiple fishes swimming. So we're going to have like a school of fish, I believe that's what it's called, and they're just going to be swimming around and did I learn JavaScript before learning expressions? I'm not sure JavaScript existed when I learned programming, but in essence, yes. That's what I would say. Like expressions, they do seem complicated when you look at all that code that's being generated by even simple pick whipping, but really, it's not. Once you get over those long lines of text that essentially mean, yeah, just take this number, then it all comes together. So I would highly, highly recommend for anyone who wants to learn expressions or any sort of programming, really, to just learn programming on whatever language you like: Python, JavaScript, Java, uh, Visual Basic, even. Okay, you don't really need to go that deep. It's really, really simple. Can you show us how to use the seed of the wiggle in order to be able to copy it and have the same values? Sure. Um, that's actually something that is part of this that we're gonna do right now. But let's just do that. We're just gonna have like two solids. One solid. We're gonna make it small. Let's say 50 by 50, and let's make it red so we can see it. And the seed value that Joel asked about is there's not there's no true randomness in computer science. So in any programming language, so in any software, so in expressions, so in After Effects. Okay, there's no true randomness. You wouldn't really want your fractal noise, which is random, to be different every time you open up your project, right? So this is called pseudo random, or whatever it's called in English. The idea is that think of randomness as having pre-shuffled decks of cards, okay, like an infinite number of pre-shuffled decks of cards. So this seed value that you can see in any random generated effects like particles and whatnot, or fractal noise, you will often find a seed parameter which changes the way it looks. All other parameters stay the same, but the result is different because a different deck of cards was used to generate the random imagery. Okay, so that's how it works. That's how it works. Think about it. That is why, like online casinos or things like that, pay enormous amount of money for true random machines. They're not really true random machines still, but they are hard to predict. If an online casino to deal you the cards would just use math.random function, I could predict what cards I'm gonna get and what cards you're gonna get based on all the conditions when the randomization happens. If I know the time, if I know the hardware in the computer, the CPU, the amount of RAM, the amount of all these states and all the parameters of the state when the generate button was clicked, I can predict with 100% certainty what I'm gonna get. Okay, the same with fractal noise, for example, meaning that you don't want it to change every time you open up a composition. Okay, anytime you open up the project. So, with that in mind, let's just move forward. So this seed value, it theoretically should have the same result for the wiggle, which is pseudo random as well. So we're just gonna do that. Let's just type in wiggle 1 time a second in the radius of 50, for example. Let's just do that. So that's gonna move our solid, maybe a little bit more, 150, let's say. That's just gonna move our solid back and forth. Let's say 3 times a second, because that is too slow to see. Not 2, 3. There we go. Okay, so if I duplicate the solid, we're gonna have different results, as expected, right? But if we are going to specify what deck of cards of randomness we're gonna choose, it should theoretically end up being the exact same wiggle. So the result should be exactly the same. So I'm going to just say, before we randomize anything, so before we do the wiggle, I'm going to say seed random. seed random, and let's say 1 to 3. This 1 to 3 is the number of the deck of cards you wish to choose. If we do that, and then we have to say false, I believe, this will create a very specific motion. You know, when we look at it, doesn't make any difference. But if we paste, if we paste that in here, so we are randomizing exactly the same thing. We're getting the results from the same deck. This should look precisely the same, and it does. I hope, Joel, that answers your question. There are other uses for seed random. For example, the second parameter is called timeless. Okay. Once we're at it, let's just do this whole random thing. So I am going to put a random function on the rotation. Okay, that's not going to be wiggle, it's going to be actual random. Okay, so I'm going to say random. Random gives us results from 0 to 1. Okay, so since I want this to be from 0 to 360, I can either multiply this by 360, or I can simply give the random function some arguments, some parameters. Okay, so I'm going to say random from 0 to 360. Right? I know that you guys can't really see it very well, so like this, I can do that. So 0 to 360. Okay, and this will give me a random value from that range, different value on every frame. So one of the seed random uses is that you can lock the result of randomness for the entire length of the composition. So seed random, I don't really care about the first value, so something, and then say true as the second parameter, which means yes, I want this to be locked in time. So this will give me one random number that will never change through the course of the composition. And right now, as you can see, it is random. Ta-da! But if I duplicate it and duplicate it and duplicate it, every single one is gonna be different, which is cool. Okay, so that's that. Let's go back to the fishes. We've got the fish that is wiggling its tail. We're going to make this composition longer, let's say 500 frames. Okay. The first thing we're going to do, we are going to loop this composition. Aha! You know that you can loop footage by right-clicking and choosing Interpret Footage, Main, and just going to loop and just, say how many times it should loop. But with compositions, you can't do that. And now is the super awesome, very simple expression that loops compositions. First of all, we need to create the time remapping parameter, and then we're just gonna alt click it. We can actually lose this one keyframe. The other has to stay because otherwise the parameter would disappear. So like this, and we're gonna say time. So the current time of the composition, blah 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 blah. And the problem is that this time can go beyond the length of the fish composition. And when it does, we want to loop it back to the beginning. Okay, and we already said like an hour ago that for looping we can use the modulus function. I'm not sure how we pronounce it in English, but yes, modulus, modulo, whatever. So we're gonna do modulus by the original length of the fish composition. So source dot duration, and that is it. One freaking line, and the fish just continues to swim, and it will swim forever and ever and ever, perfectly looping. There we go. The problem though is that we could See, Joel said loop out duration cycle. Yes, but that would require us having keyframes, and also if I would have two fishes, which is something I'm gonna do in a minute, I'm gonna have like a dozen of them or even more. Right now, their motion is synchronized, as you can see, and I don't want that. Okay, so with loop out duration, sorry, you would have to create different keyframes and make sure it's the same speed, and oh man, you would have to deal with keyframes. Whenever you have to deal with keyframes, that's like a red flag for me. Okay, so instead of doing that, we could add like a random number to this time parameter. Okay, we could like do plus random something, but this random something would change on every frame, as we know. So let's just try it, okay? Plus random from 0 to, I don't know, 1, okay? Let's just do that. And of course, this should be in parentheses because this should be like one number that we then take the modulus from. So let's do that. And let's see. Like it is a different state of this tail wiggling on every frame. That's not what I want. I just want the animation to be offsetted by a fixed amount, but a different amount for every single instance of the layer. So in order to do that, what I do is I can, first of all, figure out what this random thing is. It shouldn't be point from 0 to 1, but it should be from 0 to source duration, right? I don't need to pick a random number from 0 to 1. I need to pick a random number from 0 to how long the composition actually lasts. So there we go. So that's fix number 1, but it still doesn't solve the problem. It's still going to be a different shape of the tail on every frame. So we need to pick that number and lock it in time. Okay, so in order to do that, we're just gonna say seed random some number, which is our seed, so our deck of cards, and then true. And this will cause the fish to animate properly, and it's gonna be a different number for every instance of the fish. As you can see, right now it starts from 192, and for the other duplicate it's going to start from 130. From the next duplicate it's going to start from 160, and for the next duplicate it's going to start from 178. So every single fish has a different shape of the tail. Ta-da! There we go. Source duration refers not to the length of the layer, but to the length of the source of the layer. Source of the layer can be footage or a composition. Still frames, like images, do not have length, but videos, so you know, MOVs, MP4s, AVIs, whatever you wish, they do have a length, and compositions do have a length as well. The time they last. Okay, the duration there on the screen. They should be on the screen. But then again, here, there's one thing that bugs me a little bit, that we have the same seed number on every parameter. I don't really care about the seed, and I want to avoid any problems by using the same seed on every single copy. So I'm just going to use index. This will ensure that the seed of every seed random function is different, but it is still locked in time. Index refers to the number of the layer on the stack. Okay, so this is, in my view, the simplest and most elegant solution to looping a composition. Okay, multiple compositions. So let's just do this. Couple of different compositions. We're just gonna place them randomly around, and you'll be able to see that we have fishes wiggling their tails It's the exact same motion, but just offset it in time. And I think that is pretty cool on its own. Okay, so with that in mind, we're just gonna close this down and we're gonna start doing some parameters. Yay, parameters. So let's just create a new null object. Let's just call it settings, and let's think what we want to have. We want to have a point control. Really? Yes. I'm using point control instead of two sliders very often. Okay. What I want to have is a scale minimum and maximum. Okay, so I'm gonna just grab those two values, I'm gonna randomize them, and I'm gonna feed them in to the fish's scale parameter. Since we are going to randomize a lot of things, I am going to add a slider for the seed parameter, just in case, just because I like to. Okay, if I randomize something and I don't like the results of the randomness, I can just change the seed value and ta-da, it will just work. So instead of having this seed da 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 over here, I'm just gonna say index plus this seed value. That's cool. And see, this is exactly what scares people. This comp layer setting, blah 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 blah. Okay, so if this scares me, I can just move it, just get rid of it, and just say seed equals to whatever this is, and then use this word seed. Yeah, so much better. Okay, simple. So we've got seed and we've got this scale. Let's just open up the scale parameter and just do the same thing. So we're gonna say seed equals this, right? And then we're going to say seed random equals to seed. We can also use seed plus index, doesn't really matter. True, we're just gonna log the random results. We're going to create a variable called new scale, so an s, and we're going to randomize random. Actually, you know what? To make it even easier, I'm gonna make a new parameter called range, and I'm going to point to this. Boink. Okay, so we've got range, this comp settings, blah 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 blah. So I'm going to randomize from range first parameter up to range second parameter. And then I'm going to say ns, which will put this randomly generated number into x and y scale parameters. Why? Because, you know, scaling should be uniform, should be the same for both parameters. So there you go. It just randomized 50 and 50. Why? Because minimum is 50 and maximum is 50. So the only result is 50 that we can get. So what we're going to do is we're going to say from 50 to 100, for example. So fishes will be scaled from 50 to 100 randomly. Okay, so every single duplicate of the fish is gonna have a different scale. Let's take a look. This one is 65.6, 87.3, 81.8, 92, and it just works. It's a great feeling when things that you start to develop just work right off the bat. That's one of the reasons why I quit programming, and why I don't do native plugins for After Effects. Like, oh man, writing this much of code to simply see a blinking cursor on the screen is just depressing to me. So no, I rather stay in visuals. So there you go. Scale done. Time remap done. What else do we need?
Hue and saturation.
Hue and saturation. Huh. You're trying to surprise me with your clever things that you think cannot be randomized. As a matter of fact, they can. Okay, so let's just open up our fish and let's just apply HLS, color balance, hue light saturation. So we can change the hue of the fish. It's not a bad look. Saturation and lightness. So yeah, we can just randomize this. Why the hell it should be any different from anything else? But yeah, let's just leave it. Uh, how do we make particular loop? Short answer, you don't. Long answer, depends. Uh, we can get into that in another session because it's already like it's like 20 minutes past 11 p.m. and I do have to work tomorrow. Yay! So we're just gonna do this and we're gonna call it a night. But that's a very good question, and we're gonna get back to that if you guys gonna invite some friends next time. So let's do that. So let's just add a checkbox and let's call this hue randomization, and we're gonna say angle control that we're gonna use for the amount of hue max randomization. Actually, we don't even need the checkbox because if we set this to 0, it's gonna be the same as having this turned off, so we don't really need it. So okay, let's just go over here, effects, so double E, E, just E, there we go, hue, bang, let's go, seed equals to this, and then we're gonna say NH for new hue, that's gonna be random from 0, that's like the default, up to this, and then we're gonna say, we're gonna say seed random, seed true, and that's it. Oh shit, error, because I put like a character there. There you go. Dun dun dun. That's it, man. Sorry. Sorry to burst your bubble, but but
Okay, so next challenge. Try to change the position every fish, tak aby nie nachodziły na siebie.
Come on, man. Like this is what Lucas said is like randomize the position of the fish so they don't overlap. Eh?
Yes.
Fishes do overlap. Okay, so I'm not gonna do something that's not happening in nature. It is possible to do, but that would take a lot of processing power for After Effects. So I would rather solve that problem by some other means, like setting the limit of like a big area of randomization. So let's just not do that. Let's call it 360. Okay, that's good. Cool. Seed at the bottom. So that's that. And what was this all about? Oh yeah, value at time. Yes, so we have to get into that eventually. So we have the fish with random colors, with random scale. That's good. I'm thinking maybe we should make the fishes smaller. Let's say 20 to like 35. Okay, yes, that's cool. And we're gonna have a lot of them. So we are going to need to randomize the position of the fishes. And the reason why I don't really bother about the overlapping is that, they're going to be moving and swimming like this in a big, it's going to be a big school of fish. It's going to be ławica, right? So you're not going to really see if they're overlapping, because if one fish is really close to another, it looks like they overlap. So I don't really care if they actually overlap or not. I had this project when I had to create like a array of lights, and they could not overlap, and that was done by simply aligning them to a grid, which is a different solution for the problem you mentioned, because the problem you mentioned is just so inefficient in here to do that it's not even worth trying. Uh, what in experience should we avoid to keep After Effects away from crashing? Uh, Masks. Yes, masks. Because what?
Mask is evil.
Yeah, masks are evil. Shape layers are evil. Uh, that's a subject for a whole new discussion that we can do next time we meet. Uh, but a short answer would be things that if you use any loops in your expressions, like for loops or while loops, that is a potential to crash After Effects because the expression may be executing for a long time and that will not actually crash it. It will just cause you to think you crashed it because it will not be responding. There is a limit, a so-called timeout limit, that after you leave an expression running for one frame and it did not finish in a given amount of time, I don't remember what it is, like 2 minutes or something, After Effects will actually stop executing the expression and it will show you a message. But I never actually had problems with that, and I do everything with expressions, like very, very expressiony compositions that have everything running with expressions. Uh, by the way, if you do that, the render may be slower, marginally, but still. However, you then have to balance the cost of having marginally faster render against being totally flexible. Like flexible has more weight in my mind. It's way more valuable than the time it takes to render something. Uh, because even if it renders, marginally faster, and you have to change something, it takes hundreds more time to do the change if you're not flexible than it would take to render the thing 100 times. Okay, so I always go for flexibility with expressions. Uh, okay, let's just go forth. Let's just finish this. Okay, so we've got one fish that has a random color. It wiggles its tail. Cool. So now we have to have a random position of the fish. So open up the position, and I think we can have a null layer that's going to be our leader. So that will be leader, and that will move the fishes around. And I think this should be a 3D layer, just as a fish should be a 3D layer. And yeah, we're going to animate that, and the fish is going to follow that. Should we parent it to the leader? That's a very good question as well, because it's a very good question. We could, but if we don't have to, I'd rather not, because it's easy to forget that you've parented something to something else, and then parenting takes place in a given point in time, and it takes all the transforms of the layer and just applies them to the layer to the child layer. It becomes confusing if you're not paying attention. So since we're gonna drive everything with expressions, we're not gonna use parenting right now. So we're gonna say that position of this is exactly the same as the leader. So simple as that. Boink, poof, done. Okay, but if I'm gonna use this, not the settings, the leader layer, I'm just gonna move it around. I am going to put a wiggle on it. Wiggle 1 time a second in a radius of 500, let's say. Okay. Okay, swims around, pretty cool. We can also have this auto orient to the motion path. Okay. And this shows a problem because we need to rotate it like 90 degrees in this direction, and I think that's gonna be fine. Yes. Yeah, pretty cool. Okay. fish is swimming. Let's make it smaller, 5 to 15. Yes. So what I want to do, not only I want it to copy the movement of the null layer, I want it to be offsetted from the null layer, not only in time, but in position as well. So we have to randomize the position a little bit. And here's a cool trick. Instead of using random function 3 times, one for x, one for y, and one for z, we can use wiggle as well. But how many times a second? 0. Okay, that is very, very cool trick. So I am going to say that we're going to wiggle 0 times a second in a radius of something. Let's just freaking put a slider there. Slider, boink, and let's call this position, I can't spell, deviation, div, I'm just gonna call it, okay, position deviation, and it's gonna be this. There we go. Okay. And the problem with this is it's gonna be, oh, why I don't see the fish? Where's the fish? Oh, it is here. Okay. It's just so small that I can't see it. Huh. Oh, sure. Shoot. It should be plus. Yeah, there we go. But then it's, you know, it's 100 pixels at this point, and it's in all 3 axes, and I don't really like that. I would rather have it to move from x and y, and in z just a very tiny bit. So I am going to use 2 randoms for that. Just wanted to show you the trick with wiggle 0 times a second. Okay, so we're gonna lose this, and we're gonna lose this position deviation, and we're gonna have a point, sorry, 3D point control, and we are going to call it position random range. Okay, so let's say in x, let's say 300 pixels, in y let's call it 150, and in z let's call it 10. Okay, that's gonna be it. And we are going to create a seed value, of course, just like we did every single time. We're gonna say seed random, whoops, seed random. How many times? I mean, with what seed? With the seed. Do we want to lock it? Yes. True. And then we're gonna say new x is random from 0 to this value. Oh, and we can actually just maybe create range equals this. Okay, and then we're gonna say from range 0, 0, new y equals random from range 1, and z equals random from range 2. There you go. And we just get that, and new x, new y, and new z. That should be fine. Okay. Let's just put the fishes back where they belong, and every single fish that we create should be somewhere around here. Pretty cool. Seems like it's working. So let's turn on the expression. I think I turned something off a minute ago. Did I? Oh yeah, I did turn off the wiggle, sorry. Okay. And we have a beautiful school of fishes that just swim perfectly in sync. So, value at time that spawned this entire project is something that would allow us to move those fishes a little bit out of sync with each other. And Joel, yes, Joel suggested add a random delay. That's exactly what we're gonna do. And we're gonna say slider. We're gonna call this max time delay. And it's gonna be in seconds. Or we can actually make it in frames. Frames just make more sense to me. Frames. And position. Yeah, it's here. So we are going to grab that value that we have, Tim, that we have here. TO for time offset. TOM time offset max. That's gonna be this value, and it should be in frames. So it should be divided by this frame comp duration. Yeah, this comp. No, sorry, multiplied by this comp frame duration. I know there is time to frames and frames to time function built in, but I just find this to be faster, although it may not be so accurate. Let's just do this, and then we're going to TO for time offset, say random from Tom. Random from Tom. There we go. And oh shit, where did I? Wrong parameter. Guys, why didn't you tell me? I made it like a total fool of myself. That's not should be on the time. Oh, don't do this. Okay, good. Position. This should be on position. Position. Okay, again. TOM. That's going to be this multiplied by this comp frame duration, and then we are going to say time offset equals random from Tom, and then we're gonna have this position dot value at time, and that is the key, because if we add value at time and we say at what time you want to get the value of this transform position parameter, we're going to say, well, at the current time, but offset it by the thing that we just randomized. And that's it. Ta-da! Okay, so we leave that as it is. We now have time delay set at 0, so the fishes should still move precisely the same, and they do. But if we increase this, let's say 10 frames, okay, some fishes are already ahead, some are behind, and it just looks perfect. Let's just go to the leader layer and make it, let's say, 0.5, and let's go to 50, and maybe a little bit smaller. Let's go 50 in the Y and 100 or 150 in here, and let's just add more fishes. Okay, and that is a pretty nice looking school of fish.
Jasiek pisze, dodaj mnie wodzu.
Oh, okay. We've got another viewer coming in, but he's too late, unfortunately, because I believe we're just gonna be finishing it. Yashik, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yashik is here. Unfortunately, you're late because I believe we have just finished creating a nice school of fish. I hope, Joel, that this answers your question, even though it was a very long answer, but I'm pretty happy with the result that we've achieved with this time, value at time, sorry. Uh, so yeah, there you go. There are your fishes for you. And by the way, you can do the same thing with particular 2.0. I know there are newer versions, but the first version that had 3D particles that could orient themselves to the path of motion, blah blah blah, was in the version 2.0. As you can see, you don't really need it, but then again, keeping in mind what I said about plugins, anything that is made by Peter is worth having. So there you go. I think I'm gonna maybe make them move a little faster, like one. And of course, motion blur on all of them and motion blur over here. And let's just try to render this out once more and see what the result is gonna be.
I can't see a shit.
Oh, you can't see shit, Yashik.
No.
Are you are you on YouTube? You should be on YouTube
Yes,
watching this.
but it's still like loading.
Oh, that's probably because you have shitty internet connection, my
Oh
friend.
no. Wait on.
Well,
Anyway,
anyway, I don't know if Joel is still with us. I took some long time to answer his question. Uh, I hope that satisfies anyone who's watching this. And I think yes, we will call this a night. It's already half past 11 p.m. and I do have to go to work tomorrow and train some eager people to learn about After Effects. So uh,
some what people? Sorry, couldn't hear that. Some what?
eager,
Eager. Oh, eager.
eager,
Yes.
eager to learn about After Effects. So
Yeah.
yes, that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. So yeah. Uh, well, yeah. Thanks, Patty Melt Productions. By the way, Patty Melt is located, situated, lives in Texas. So if you are in the area and you need some work done, I do recommend his services. He's been personally trained by me in some areas. We're still training, we're still learning from each other, actually. But yeah, if you need any work done, just call him. And if by any chance you're from the Ireland area, then you can reach out to Yashik as well, because he's actually located over there. So we do have an international audience of 9 people. There we go. Half of which are my friends, but it's still cool. So I guess, my dear viewers, we will call this a night. Hope you like the effect of the school of fish. They do look nice. And I'll see you next time. So yeah,
Oh, really? No.
sorry Ashik, should have paid attention.
Shouldn't take the job.
uh, Once again, thanks guys, and see you next time. And you guys, who are with me on Skype, just stay there. We'll have a talk in a minute. Bye. See you
Bye.
next time.
Bye bye bye.